Here we are, the first ever Good Authority. We'll call it a test, but it is the first ever broadcast trial production run with Michael Patrick Moroney, co-founder of Good Authority. How are you, Michael?
I'm good. And Dr. Simon Mills, co founder, Good Authority.
So you're one of my circus animals today, for want of a better positioning. I thought, as one channel, I come across all sorts of people doing interesting things around the world, and they're the genuine article from Howard Bloom to Dr. Ritchie to just people moving the needle on stuff that's actually changing the world and making things better, from companies to terraforming other planets in Howard Bloom's case. So I thought, well, we'll just get a grip on how we're going to do this, get some sort of benchmark, and talk a little bit about Good Authority, why it's here, why is it here, what do you think about it?
Well, I've got to. Should I turn off my air conditioner so we get in a.
Yeah, it sounds pretty good. But,
Okay. All right, we'll just go with this. We'll go with the worst common denominator. I think that it's interesting. We were talking about it before about, the amount of AI slop and how it's funny, it's impressive. Sometimes it's really good, and sometimes, it can be moving, right? If people do it. But I think what it does is it creates a baseline, and there's so much slop. There's so much AI slop. I enjoy like the weird, cool, Star Wars fanfic and, pictures of J.D. Vance, 400 pounds, playing bass, with the next of them. But it's so annoying. And I'm sick of this constant thing of where, I don't want to trust the experts. The experts are always wrong. The experts said this couldn't happen, but look at our dear leader as he makes it happen. And, I want experts. I want to talk to the guy who's been obsessively geeking out on microeconomics of, Arabian Gulf shipping dynamics right now.
exactly, people who actually do the stuff.
Exactly. And, you can use AI. We can use AI to make sure we transcribe it, that we capture the information. Maybe we find data. It's a great search engine, and it's great for doing all the busy work that gets in the way of making cool shit.
Yeah, I mean, you can go to YouTube and you can find all sorts of content, but you know, I play in a band with Liberty DeVito, and we can bring him in to talk about playing with superstars around the world. I've been talking with Leland Sklar lately, helping him solve some problems on his online e-commerce, and you can get Leland in for a conversation about playing with Michael Jackson to Jackson Brown, and
He's played. I mean, I follow his YouTube channel where it's pretty much just him every day, just going, "Hey, this is what up." The dogs are doing this. My wife's back is still out. I've got to go to the store and pick this stuff up, but on top of that, it's great. I mean, he pulls out this stuff that he's playing, like "What a Fool Believes," right? And he's like, "Oh, when I was in the studio playing that song, this is how this happened, and this is how this happened." And just the view into the creative process is amazing. And he's always playing along. Like, he always just sort of, even when he's playing, like, James Taylor, he picks up a bass and he just starts, like, kind of playing along with it. I can't imagine that he still remembers the bass lines.
oh no, incredible! I saw him playing Susudio the other day on a YouTube clip. Just phenomenal stuff. And he said, "Yeah, I was a bit ratty through there." I'm going, "Well, I thought it was perfection."
Yeah, yeah, we aspire to achieve his ratty
Yeah,
technique.
right. Exactly. So now you've written a book on AI recently. How's that going?
It's going along. It's mainly about kind of what we've talked about, how new technology in general has changed how people make art, and also what that art ends up becoming, because people consume it, and inevitably, artists and creatives are insecure little fucks. And if the audience likes something that they did, they tend to try to repeat it or try to keep going for that attention. So the fact that everybody wants things a certain way now, and AI is helping to curate and be the gatekeeper, you got to deal with it. And there's been stuff in the past, so I don't see it as that. I mean, it is drastically different, and it's probably going to end up killing us all. But
Here it is, More Human Than Human by Michael Patrick Moroney.
yes, based off of the Blade Runner quote for the Tyrell Corporation, their replicants.
Outstanding.
And of course, we all know what happened there.
Yes, indeed. I was playing with the concept the other day where aliens invented a biological AI experiment, and it turns out at the end of the book that we're it.
Yeah, I saw that. You know what? You know what's super interesting is they have started. I saw two articles in the last 2 days. One, have you heard about these organoids where they take stem cells of like brains and they grow multiple brain cells?
No.
And they start working a certain way, and now they're using them essentially as processing chips.
Yeah.
And the first data center went online where you can go in and you can process stuff against their cloned brain cell chips. And so, and people keep trying to figure out how to get from the tactile response from robots, right?
Yeah.
You know, so they don't crush stuff, so that they can move delicate items, have a sense if something's wet. And one of the solutions that seems very promising is they're creating essentially fungi skin for the robot. So the fungi can feel it, and we know how to get the transmission of the various responses from better, lack of a better term, nerves in the fungi.
Wow.
So we can, the fungi can essentially be the sensors of this is wet, this is dry, I'm getting squished, I have more, how much weight is going against me.
Yeah.
And that information they know how to get out of those data points they can get out of the mushroom skin. But that's pretty fucking gnarly.
I mean, it's amazing how many people are scared of it. And I'm sure it will probably try and kill us at some point, and probably will wipe us all out. But, humans are destined to become extinct. Destined. They were just so self-destructive. So, is this it? Maybe.
Well, even then, I don't think it will fully... humans won't fully become extinct, even if we had a global nuclear war. That's going to terraforming planets. We're never going to get Mars. Mars is the worst place in the world for us to live. We would have an easier time surviving after a nuclear war than living on Mars. And so there'll always be little scraggling hunter-gatherers, in some little village, some little valley, and I think
last of the Earthlings.
Yeah, I think AI will just kill a large proportion. They'll cull the herd down to where they've got enough firemen and miners, people who keep mining the minerals, and firemen around to put out the fire if the data centers go on.
Well, at least there'll be a record on good authority of some of the good people who have walked the earth and had some ideas about stuff.
Exactly. This is kind of like we're starting a project to collect the information for the alien archaeologists that come back here in 2 million years and go, what the hell was here?
I love it. Well, there it is, our first broadcast. 9 minutes and 11 seconds. We'll get out to about 10 minutes, and that'll be our symbolic first broadcast. Maybe it'll live in infamy on there, like the dude who started MySpace. What's his name? Tom.
Whatever happened to Tom?
I don't know what happened to Tom. Maybe he got sold when Rupert bought it.
Well, yeah, Tom just took the Rupert money and was like, okay, I'm done. I got enough.
What nobody seems to know about MySpace and the Rupert deal is he actually made money on it. Paid $500 million.
Yeah, I mean, remember MySpace was like the biggest thing in the world, so they overpaid for it. And yeah, he probably easily walked away with like $1 or $2 billion.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah, I think he's just, he's the type that I think's just moved off to fucking Costa Rica and is a surf photographer.
Yep. Yeah, indeed. All right, that's
Alrighty,
it
mate.
for the first broadcast. Thank you for tuning in, people.
Alrighty.
People of Earth. All right.